This one has to do with when I was first healing Charlie, and I had already been on the roller coaster for I don't even know how many months. And I was ready to give up. And then I read about the body ecology diet. And I'm like, this is it. I just knew from all the searching, and we were on like month 11 of my die hard trying to heal this kid's gut and doing everything I could do and reading everything I could read. So when I found the body ecology diet, for me, it really resonated and I was excited to do this. I first had to prepare for a few weeks before I could even start. I had to order all this coconut water from Thailand, because that's what you do. You don't say anything to your husband when he sees the credit card and is like, what is this? I'm like, it's nothing, it's fine, it's gonna be okay, we're healing our son. So I gotten all the coconut water and I started to ferment that, and we fermented the veggies, and I did what I needed to do. And I had my son Charlie, who was by this point just shy of 6 years old when I'm ready to do this. He had lost some of his behaviors through the different steps I was taking trying to clean up his gut. He had also been on a few courses of diflucan, which is a pharmaceutical antifungal. And that's actually when I saw some really big changes just in the very beginning. All of a sudden he had full sentences and just exciting, significant changes. Of course, he would regress and just plateau again because I didn't understand everything back then. I didn't understand that by using a pharmaceutical antifungal that you get it to a certain place, but then all the yeast grows back and you kind of come back again. We didn't always go back to square one, but we definitely regressed. His healing seemed so elusive back then. So here we were, ready to start the body ecology diet. I got everything in place and we go. And so I remember the first 3-4 days I saw nothing. Around day 7, he was a wild animal, but I was okay because I'm like, it's die off, yeast die off. I got excited. I get excited at the weirdest things, and I definitely get excited when my kid goes off the wall during any sort of new diet that I was trying. I just know what's happening. So I'm like, I just gotta get through this, and then we're gonna see something. And so we do that, and by like day 15, he asked if he could go to the playground, and I go to the park. And I remember it was Thanksgiving Day, and I was up to my eyeballs in Thanksgiving turkey and potatoes and all the things you do for Thanksgiving. I'm busy, and I was like, you want what? He's like, I want to go to the park. You know, this child never wanted to go to the park. Just being out in the air was just too much for him. His sensory issues were so bad. And I just looked at him, I looked at my kitchen, everything in disarray, everything half cooked, and I just was like, kids, get your coats, we're going to the park. And so we all went to the park. And typically if I take Charlie to the park, we're back in about 4 minutes because he just can't take it. So we went, and he was at the park, and I'm looking at my watch like, oh my God, it's been 10 minutes. It's been 15 minutes. It's been 20 minutes, half an hour. Oh my gosh. Like, it was just so amazing. It was like tears of joy. It's the best Thanksgiving ever. Days later, and my sister was staying with us because it was Thanksgiving. I was just like, can you believe this? Oh my gosh, I think we're seeing healing for the first time. It really makes sense. Wonderful. I said, I'm gonna go food shopping, you babysit. I come back, and my sister says very gently to me, she's like, don't get upset. Charlie's just having a little bit of a hard time, but I'm sure it's okay. It's probably just a moment and he'll be okay. And I come into the room, into the playroom where they all were, and my son is literally batshit crazy. And he is going, yeah, and his cheeks are like, he's pale, but he's flushed, and his eyes are glassy. And it was a Charlie that I actually hadn't even seen in a while. I mean, I saw him through the yeast die-off. This was like, he was off the wall. And I fell apart. I just was like, I'm done. I'm done. And I started crying, and I left that playroom area, and I went into the foyer, and I literally slumped down, and I was on the floor. And my sister, God bless her soul, walks out and says, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And if you're ever in that position where you've been trying to heal your child for so long, and you get so excited at that next medication or that next supplement or that next diet, and here you are again, and you saw progress. I mean, he asked to go to the park. I mean, it was huge. And then you have this. And all I could think of was, I'm done. I give up. I'm out. Let him be the way he's gonna be. Let him make his mouth noises. Let him do that crap that he does. Let him be annoying. I don't know. I can't do it anymore. And my sister's next to me, and I'm saying all of this. I can't do it anymore. This actually is the same sister who showed up when Charlie was about 3 or 4, I think it was, just on my front doorstep, which is a big deal because I'm in New Jersey and she's in Boston. And I remember opening the door like, what are you doing here? And she's like, just came to visit. And I thought, what? Wait, what do you mean you came to visit? What? Oh, are you in the area? Are you visiting mom? Like, what's happening? And she's like, no, I just She wanted to visit. Now, you have to understand, she had 2 small children at the time, so I didn't get it, but I was excited. And it wasn't until hours later when we're sitting and having coffee together, and I'm crying because I would often cry because I didn't know what to do about Charlie. And my sister actually has a specialty in teaching children with autism and all of that. So she's been around a lot of different kids. She's seen a lot. She said, you know, Carolyn, the reason I came is because you must have mentioned in the last week more times than I can count that you wish you were dead, and that you wish you could just give up, and that you wish you didn't have to wake up in the morning. I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was never gonna kill myself, Lizzie. Like, don't worry, I wasn't gonna do that. And she said, yeah, I know, but it's too many times. And so even if you're not gonna do it, I just wanted to come. I just wanted to hang out with you, and just, it's gonna be okay. So that was really sweet. So this was that particular sister, and this is 4 years later, and I'm still falling apart, and now I'm on the ground, and I'm like, I'm done, right? And in that moment was a miracle. My son Charlie walked out of the playroom and saw me crying and walked up and said, why are you crying? And he stopped all his maniacal behavior. And I said, it's okay, Mommy's just crying because I thought you were getting better, and I can see that I was wrong, and I'm sorry, I won't make you drink the stuff anymore, and I won't make you eat the crunchy veggies, and I'm sorry, I just love you the way you are, it's okay. And he goes, but why are you crying, Mommy? And then he starts crying, why are you crying? I said, it's okay, and I'm wiping my eyes, it's okay, I just thought that I thought I was seeing something, and you know what, Mommy's okay. And he goes, is it because I drank the coffee creamer? I start crying, and I was like, you say what? You say what? What did you do? And he's like, nothing, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, the coffee creamer. I go get it. Now, I had bought this special coffee creamer because it was Thanksgiving, and I thought that would be fun. And I bought the big Coffee Mate vanilla coffee creamer, full fat, full sugar, full everything. I didn't think a thing of it. I knew that we'd only had a small amount taken out of it. He hands it to me. I think there was this much left in a very large container. And I said, I looked at my sister, I said, did you have this? She said, no, I didn't have it. And I go, Charlie, when did you drink this? And now I'm like trying to be calm and quiet, like, you're not in trouble, I just kind of want to know. But meanwhile, I'm like, oh my God, please tell me you drank the entire thing. And he goes, I had some yesterday, and I had some last night, and I had some this morning. I said, when else did you have it? He goes, well, I drank most of it when you went food shopping, but that's because Big Lizzie was with Christian and Gracie. And I was like, what? He's like, I'm really sorry. And he starts crying, and I'm like, no, it's okay. Don't wipe my eyes. I look at Lizzie, I go, it's just the coffee creamer. And she was crying, I was crying, and I'm so excited because it was just the sugar that just totally threw him off. And then I wiped myself off, and I'm like, we can do this. And he still would do that with the coffee creamer. And I've told you guys in other videos, before I gave up that whole coffee creamer thing, oh my God, that was just like, it was my vice. I needed to have it. But I got really smart, and I just took the whole label off it, and I took a Sharpie and wrote mushroom milk on it, and I would just stick it right plain sight. He never touched it again. So that was good. I tell you that because, guys, stay on the path. Don't give up. I know you cry a lot. I get it. I know broth is hard, and making kefir is hard, and fermenting vegetables is hard. And oh my God, just trying to keep your kids away from the normal food, it's hard. It's hard. But I have a child who can go out in public. I have a child who can go to the playground. I have a child who has friends. I have a child who can read and speak and communicate. I have a child who no longer has to jump up and down or uses like strange curse words out of nowhere, or has Tourette's-like behaviors, or has a script and uses only certain phrases. He doesn't do any of it anymore. He's a fully thinking, communicating, loving child, and he's still healing every day. He can still be that child that, to me, he's more maybe distracted than some of my other kids. But I still can connect it and go, have you been taking your supplements lately? And I make sure that he takes his supplements. I mean, that was such a game changer for us. But I also make sure, like, what have you been eating? It's always hiding in plain sight, guys. The answers are hiding in plain sight. So look at what you're doing. Do you see a setback? Do you see a plateau? That's okay. Use it as data. Don't use it to throw yourself over the edge. Don't be like how I was. I constantly was like, I can't do it. I can't take it. We're just not gonna be able to heal him. Now, when Charlie would show regression, I was like, what'd you do? What'd you do? And he'd say, I didn't touch anything. I'd say, okay. let me think. You having too many of those chocolate frosties? Or I'd say to myself, wow, 80% of our day is carbohydrates, even if they're legal carbohydrates now, right? Because we can have the Deland bread, it's gluten-free millet bread, we can have a lot of things. But too much of a good thing is still too much. Oh, where's the fruits and veggies? What are you feeding him? I just want you to realize that I cried all the time, hence the name of my website, right? Live with Joy Now, because I want you mamas to know you don't have to have your sister come in from Boston and scoop you up off the ground. She doesn't have to do it. I mean, savor the trip, right? So just don't give up, moms. Keep going. There's gonna be healing on the other side. Love you.